Sharon just asked me, saying that her tenants are trying to break the lease 6 months early, and she's trying to find some contract where she can charge them $6,300 to allow them to break the lease. Is kind of to compensate her for them breaking the lease. You can do that. So there's two different ways that we approach everything. So one way is what you can get away with, what the tenants will agree to. So if they agree to pay you $6,300 to break the lease is a contract. They're trying to sever that contract. If they agree to pay you the $6,300, then that's fine. You could go ahead and do that. Legally speaking, however, you would be on a little bit of a different footing. And legally speaking, what I mean by legally speaking is what I anticipate how a real estate judge, if you're in front of a real estate judge, what they would want you to do. And I'm not an attorney, and I'm certainly not a real estate judge, but I would think what a real estate judge is extremely likely to want you to do, and this is my experience, is they would want you to, quite possibly can get away with charging them a 1 month rent to compensate you, a penalty fee to help you, because obviously you're going to be vacant for at least a month. And what they would want to be done is they want you as the landlord to immediately begin marketing the property to find a viable tenant. And they would want your current tenants, the ones that are breaking the lease, to be responsible for the lease and the rents until that viable tenant is found. So your responsibility as a landlord would be to immediately try to take reasonable steps to try to find a replacement tenant. The tenant's responsibility here would be to continue paying the rent until that tenant is found. In that scenario, that really is kind of fair. And I don't know how much of a penalty, life happens. And if a tenant needs to get out of the lease, or if a job transfer comes, if any variety of things happen with tenants, often it's home ownership. And trying to navigate home ownership, buying their first home and trying to orchestrate with the exact timing that a lease would end, it's near impossible to do. So a lot of this does come down, in my opinion, to what's fair. So do I think you can get away with charging them $6,300? Yes, if they agree to that, then yes, I do think you can go ahead and charge them $6,300. Do I think a judge would agree with that? And if they agree, you're not going to end up in front of a judge. But do I think a judge would agree with that? No, I don't think a judge would agree with that. And thirdly, what do I think is fair? I personally think if you're actually made whole, if you market the property, you find a viable tenant, and your exiting tenants pay you the rent right to that very moment that the incoming tenants pay you the rent, then I think it's just fair for you to take a nominal fee. And I would take a nominal fee because of your effort in having to write a lease, having to market the property, and also having to get in and refresh the property for the new tenant. So I would take something, but I wouldn't take an excessive amount. All right, good.